Here we go. So, welcome everybody to our Wellness Wednesdays. We're here on the 22nd of April with the lovely and amazing Kathy Kinnersly talking all about natural pain management. So, it's lovely to have you here for those who are live, and welcome to those who are watching the recording. We will be stopping the recording for the Q&A at the end. So, you missed out if you're watching the recording, but there's still plenty of goodness ahead. So, I'm very excited to welcome the beautiful and lovely Kathy. Heard so many amazing, wonderful things about this wonderful woman. And I know she's been teaching about the oils for 10 years, maybe 10 years plus, and is absolutely just the most consistent person I think I've ever heard of, in that she's teaches her team about the oils every single week for the last 6 years in term time. So that's a pretty I know you need consistency to really make anything happen in life, and here she is absolutely smashing it and nailing it. So really looking forward to hearing what she has to say. I know her journey started, like many of us, with focusing the oils on her family. It's always about the children first, but then we can bring them into our own lives as well. And I'm sure we'll hear plenty about that. So thank you so much for joining us, Kathy, and I'll hand over to you.
Oh, thank you. Hello, everybody. It's lovely to be here in a different place. I mean, I'm normally on a Monday, it's Wednesday. It all feels great. Yes, thanks for having me. I'm delighted to have been asked to talk about natural pain management, or discomfort, as we like to call it in the doTERRA world. Like Alison just said, I've been using oils for a really long time with my whole family, and I always say probably my most personally used item is the deep blue stick. I love this product. I love this item, and I use it all the time. And I particularly love the smell of it. So I'll be featuring that tonight. But yes, I stand by because I've got a little whistle stop tour of what you can do in your homes, whether it's from like a chronic issue that you might be dealing with, or an acute situation. So let's get going, and I hope the slides work. Yes. So I'm just going to hide the cameras a moment so I can see this. Okay. So, oh my gosh. Okay, come on. Basically, I want to start this whole session so that you guys can also understand that there are different types of discomfort. There are obviously acute situations that all of us have, particularly me and my household, as you'll find out later on in the presentation. But all of us have this from time to time, and these acute conditions are severe and with a sudden onset. They can be described from anything from a broken bone to severe head tension, or something that just comes and then also goes fairly swiftly. Whereas chronic discomfort or chronic pain is a chronic condition that people, by contrast, live with for a long time. It takes a long time to develop. It's often known as a syndrome, such as things like osteoporosis, etc., etc. You understand what I'm talking about. So there are two different types of discomfort issues that we may be facing. And obviously, when we teach about using the oils, like Alison said at the beginning, it's all about being consistent with them. And whether you're looking at acute or chronic, the key ingredient here is to be consistent with using them. So I'm not used to using these slides. Okay, so basically, the way I love and I'm really passionate about teaching the oils in this way is understanding the basic principles of the way doTERRA works, the way doTERRA as a company, as the product, as the oils. They can really, really help us overall. And they actually created this lovely step on the right-hand side of the screen. And really, it forms the basis of what we teach. So starting with everything, and for any of you out there who are suffering with a chronic situation, with your discomfort, your pain management, please take notice of all of these. Take control of them. You are in control. And of course, I'm going to share different ways of the oils coming in with all of them. But make sure you're supporting your digestive health. It's so important. It's like the fundamental, really important part of what we do. Move your body every day, even if you can't basically just try and keep your joints supple, try and move your body a little bit to your own standards. I'm never here telling you you've got to go and run a marathon or start lifting heavy weights. I always promote, you decide, you can, do a little bit of movement for your body or a lot of movement depending on your ability. Prioritizing sleep, especially with understanding how chronic pain occurs in the body. As soon as you are kind of having terrible night's sleeps week in, week out, and you notice that you're not getting a good night's sleep, then this is going to knock everything else out of sync in your body. So please take a step back and prioritize your sleep, and do all of the things that you already know, I'm sure. Use your oils, reduce your screen time, etc., but prioritize that lovely bedtime. Obviously, as well, reducing toxins within your home. This is something that we're always passionate about teaching. Reduce that and you will see a huge improvement in your overall health. And again, particularly with when you're dealing with discomfort in your body, you may often hear it described as inflammation, and toxins in your home, in the air in your home, in the products you use, build up in your body as toxic overload, and that is where inflammation starts. And so, as you see, it's all so beautifully linked, or sadly linked. I don't know which way you want to look at it. Please remember, make informed self-care choices and do seek medical support as and when you need it. I always say this when I'm teaching my community: we're not here telling you not to, we're here to empower you with all of these fabulous tools that we've got to help you not need the medical support so often. Okay, next slide. So daily habits is something, oh, my slides seem to have gone a bit strange there. Oh well, I'll carry on. Daily habits for supporting your physical discomfort. Okay, so this is when you can use various different things. So whether you're supplementing, and I have three lovely images of our favourite supplements for supporting your physical discomfort. So I'm going to talk through them really clearly so you know. So number one is the deep blue polyphenols, which are actually, being completely transparent, a little bit out of stock right now, but they're just about to come back any moment now, so don't panic. But these guys are absolutely fantastic. Again, like I just said, it's about reducing that inflammation in your body, and taking them daily if you are prone to, even if it's headaches, head tension, joints, ligaments, whatever it is, or if you, as you're aging in your life, you may find you get niggles in your body. Add in those deep blue polyphenols into your daily supplements and you will see an improvement. The next one on the slide is, as you can see, it's beautiful, is the turmeric capsules. These are a relatively new product with doTERRA, and again, they're the powder and the oil in a duo capsule actually, and it helps them work. Both of them work really in harmony with your body. And again, you can add these into your supplements in the morning, and the whole process of reducing that inflammation in your body is what these have been designed for. I mean, they have a lot more benefits as well, but the deep blue polyphenols and the turmeric soft gels, or no, capsules, they are absolutely beautiful for helping reduce that inflammation. So if it's something you're working on that you've got chronically going on, I would definitely recommend adding in both of those. Sorry about the slide. The other thing to note is with the deep blue polyphenols, you can use those if you've got a sudden onset of any discomfort, pain, whether it's a headache or period pains, anything like that. You can just take them as if you were taking over-the-counter medication. So they are really powerful. As you can see in the middle of the screen here, we've got Copaiba soft gels. Now these, I've added these in because these are like a multi-purpose in our home. My son, he's actually got severe respiratory issues. Okay, you hopefully know what I'm talking about. I give these to him at bedtime. I don't give them to him in the morning because they have a very calming effect on the body. That again, they are also very anti-inflammatory, and we are working on reducing inflammation in his lungs. And so this is our kind of little armor that we have for him. And just to give context, he's 13, nearly 14, so he's quite a big boy, and I'm quite happy with him taking them. So those are the three supplements that I would recommend alongside, of course, your daily supplements of either the Lifelong Vitality, which are fabulous, or the new green VMG powders. So you get to choose those, and don't forget your omegas, because these are really important when you are talking about supporting your joints as you, whatever stage in life you're at, whether you're supporting young teenagers or in your 20s, your body's still developing, or as you age, particularly women, we start losing some of the suppleness in our joints and our ligaments. So it's really important to be mindful about your omegas. So at the bottom of the screen, you'll see the deep blue range. And this is, again, like I said, it's a firm favorite in our household. The deep blue rub, I love this product. I've been actually suffering a little bit with some discomfort in my hip from doing too much Pilates, which is, I mean, annoying, but I've been rubbing it on my hip a lot, morning and night, just like a regular dose, rather than waiting for it to start hurting. And I've seen such a huge improvement already, and I've only been doing that for about a week. Like I said as well, this deep blue stick, which is for any of you who don't like touching the deep blue rub, now some people really have I know, some people have a problem with touching it because it's all over your hands. So this is perfect for if you're out on the go, if you're prone to suddenly, if your knee starts hurting or if you get a headache or whatever it is, this is a fabulous product to have in a bag, and you don't have to get all sticky and, well, not that deep blue sticky, but you know what I mean. You don't get the vapors going all over your hands as well. And then you've got the deep blue neat oil. There's two different roller bottles you'll see there. There's one that's called a touch, and both of these are available. There's a touch, and whenever you see touch, it means it's diluted and ready to roll. Again, you can just add it anywhere on your body. And so literally from top to bottom, if you've got a swollen ankle, if you've got stiff knees or swollen knees, muscular pain, anything like that, all the way through to, like I said, period cramps, tension in your shoulders, head tension, you name it, you can use these products really carefully where that sensation is in your body. And the touch, because it's diluted, is perfect to use. You don't have to worry about diluting it further. Whereas the neat oil and the other roller, that is actually a neat roller bottle. So if you are kind of struggling with more intense discomfort or inflammation, it might be worth investing in the non-diluted one, but you would of course feel more tingling, or you might want to add on a carrier oil or cream afterwards. Right, let's see what the next slides bring. Oh no, they don't. Oh God, that's so annoying. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to sorry, Alison, I don't know why this has happened. They were absolutely fine, weren't they? Let me get it on my phone, and then I can make sure I'm talking through the right oils. But basically, this slide is all about keeping your joints moving. I'm just wondering, if you share it, will it make any difference?
I was just looking at that. Shall I try? Yeah,
Yeah, why
keep
don't you?
talking and unshare. I'll share
Okay,
my
I'll
end.
stop sharing,
Okay.
and then let's see if you can work any magic. I'll keep talking about your joints. Hi everyone, I can see you now. So joint issues is something that's really, really common, and like I've already touched upon, it's something that happens a lot as we age in life. But also, if you've got somebody in your home who does a lot of exercise, it may be that they get occasional joint discomfort too. So there are, of course, like I've already said, the lifelong vitality or the um, oh look, it's worked, the daily nutrients sets as well, which are really, really powerful. I'm so happy that they worked. And so these I would recommend as, like I said, your kind of daily habit. Take your supplements, add in either or any of the ones that I just talked about on the previous screen. Like I said, basically the deep blue polyphenols is really good for your cellular function in your joints, in just keep them moving, keep regular movement. You've got your deep blue, your rub, your stick, your oils, and you can layer this with any of those oils that you see on the screen. So the Aroma Touch blend, hopefully you're all familiar with this. This is a fabulous oil to use as an addition, as a layer with your deep blue. Now, it's really good if you suffer with like tension in your shoulders, or if you've been on a long drive, or if you work with your hands and shoulders a lot. A lot of massage therapists, ironically, this is designed for massage therapists, and lots of women I work with have always said, well, we end up using it and needing it as well in their own shoulders and necks. So it's really good one to use if you have got any head tension or shoulder tension. Wintergreen as well. This is one of the key ingredients in the deep blue. It's a very familiar smell and it's very, very powerful oil. Very, very powerful for pain relief. And so again, if you're not quite getting there with your deep blue, you can add a drop or two of the wintergreen, and this is really, really helpful for massaging or working through if you've got cramps in your muscles, or if you've got really stubborn pain in your joints. In fact, I think I'm going to try this myself later. So it's really, really good to be added as layers with your deep blue. And then lemongrass as well. It's a different one. It's not part of the same sort of family as oils, but lemongrass is a very powerful oil to use if you suffer with tendon issues. So, if you've been gardening, or I don't know, cooking, and your wrists hurt or your arms hurt or anything like this, lemongrass is a fantastic oil to use. Again, you dilute, you apply, or you can add on top of your deep blue rub or stick, and then you can add that lemongrass. It's really, really powerful at helping repair underneath the skin all of your tendons. Oh, it's you doing slides, isn't it? Can I have the next slide, please, Alison? Okay, so moving on to a different kind of discomfort is if you fall, if you slip, if you have an accident, you're going to be injured. You're going to probably not, let's not be dramatic. You might get away lightly. But of course, if you do end up hurting yourself or hurting your body anywhere, you're going to end up with bruising. This is caused by blood pooling in the area of where you've hit, the area of impact. And this will cause a horrible blue, grey, purple, green, in some instances, bruise on your skin. Now, first of all, when you're caring for somebody or yourself with a bruise, it's important, if it's really, really sudden and big, then try to reduce the blood flow to the area. Keep that body part elevated, wrap a nice cold cloth or ice pack around it, and, apply the ice to the area where you've had the impact. This will help reduce the kind of speed of that bruise. It will help reduce the kind of length of it staying there as well. So it's really good if you can get in there quick with some ice and elevation. And of course, we have some beautiful essential oils that will help, as they're a great addition to all of the above. And you're going to see on the coming slides, it's the situation we face often in my house. So lavender, myrrh, frankincense and helichrysum are really powerful anti-inflammatory oils. I actually have a roller blend made up on standby at all times of this combination. I have it diluted to suit a 13-year-old, so kind of 2 to 3 drops of each. But again, I always say this, if you need support, particularly for any members of your household, do reach out to your doTERRA person and they will be able to guide you specifically. And so, yes, I have that on standby all the time, and they have really good, like it says, anti-inflammatory properties, which means it's going to reduce the swelling, reduce the kind of puffiness and, the angriness of that impact zone. And like I said at the top, it's also reduces the amount of time that you're going to be having that bruise. So it's going to be helping reduce the bruise, reduce the feeling, the soreness, etc. So really powerful oils to have in your bag if you need them. Next slide, please. So, welcome to my world. This is my very own personal little Mr. Bump. Well, he's not little anymore. He's taller than me and he's still accident prone. So this is my son, Kit, and I don't know what's going on. I'm sure I've got a red flag against his name, but anyway, I like to test and try all these beautiful oils and products, and we have my very own guinea pig who's Mr. Bump. So Kit is 13 and a half, and yes, if you don't like the looks of bruising, look away now. Can we have the next slide? I had one of those phone calls came in from school. This is a few years ago now. And it was the school nurse, and you know how they normally say, "Oh, hello, nothing to worry about, but I've got Kit here." I didn't get that bit that day. This day, I got, "Kathy, can you come here now?" And I just had to drop everything, and I ran up, and because I live very close, I ran up to go and find him, and I found this boy, and he'd actually fallen over with his hands in his pockets. So he had no protection, and it was full impact on the ground, and it was wood that he fell onto, hence there was no breaking on the skin. So obviously I had to take him to hospital. Like I said, we seek medical advice when we need it. So I had to go home and get the car. So I was quickly like, oh my God, what oils do I need? Really quickly. So I got copaiba for anti-inflammatory properties, frankincense because again it's really anti-inflammatory, helichrysum because I know it's really good for concussion. Who knew? And then I got thinker to help. I was just thinking it's for his head, for his brain. It was just the little children's thinker, and then balance to steady the nerves, and of course rose. And so I was applying this. Obviously, he was in a lot of pain and he had very, very bad concussion. He didn't know what day it was, and it was quite frightening for me as mum driving him to A&E. And so we were covering ourselves, or I was covering myself in balance and rose, thinking, I've got this. And so once we got to the A&E department, I started really gently applying rose oil, frankincense around the bump, not right on it because I just couldn't touch it. I was putting the frankincense and copaiba and helichrysum onto the very back of his neck, the nape of the neck, and then neat helichrysum onto the top of his head as well. And it was something that our Becky taught us ages ago, that helichrysum is really good if you act quickly. If you're dealing with concussion, it's a very good oil to use. Next slide, please. It doesn't get worse, I promise. I just wanted to show the results, and these are really, really real. And I'm always like, wow, look at that. So on the day it happened, it kind of spread. You could see that bruising and the swelling. Day 2, it kind of dropped down, and he started getting, you can see day 3, black eyes, the classic. Day 6, look, there's hardly any left. It was like this. I've always been amazed by these oils, always have amazing stories, always do. This was like right before my eyes. I was thinking, my gosh, this is absolutely amazing. And this is why I like sharing this story in my class about pain. So next slide, please. Okay, so here we go. Broken bones. Again, it happens to everyone. I've taken out the slide with my husband because he's just like a big version of this guy. He breaks bones too. Need to see him with broken bones. So Kit honestly, he's broken so many fingers, all these things. And this was a particularly bad one. Again, whole A&E experience. But these oils you can see on the screen, again, lemongrass, frankincense, helichrysum, and I can't even read that. Is it Roman? No, sandalwood. These were a blend that I put together. I like to mix and match oils. Again, I have all sorts of different oils mixed, and I've got some recipes to share with you in a moment. But I just want to tell you that as soon as this happened, I put it onto the deep blue polyphenols and the bone nutrient complex, which I haven't included on the slide, but it's part of the women's hormone kit. You hopefully are all familiar with it. And actually, you can buy them on their own. They're extremely reasonable. And I now give these to my son every single day. I have done ever since this incident because this injury he had was a cricket ball hit his finger and actually broke his entire bone in half. It was really unpleasant for him, and he had to have a little manipulation and all of the things. We worked heavily with the oils again. We went for the deep blue polyphenols and Copaiba soft gels to help him with the management of the pain he was experiencing. But for me, the bone nutrient complex that I gave him, he went for an X-ray 3 weeks later, and his bone had healed. And yes, he was probably a 12-year-old child at this time, and their bones heal quicker than us. But the doctor was like, "Blimey, what did you do? What did you do?" And I was saying about what we did do. So I would always recommend, and like I said, I keep him on these now because I know how powerful they are. And every time any of his friends have an injury, and they're very sporty, they seem to have these injuries or skateboarding, what have you, get them on the bone nutrients if they've had a bone injury. And I did exactly the same with my husband. Like I said, I've taken out the slide, but he broke his wrist at the gym, as you do. And I did the same process with him, and his cast was off in half the time again. And he was in his 40s at the time. So yeah, these oils and supplements, they work together so powerfully. Okay, next slide. I don't want to go on too long. Here are some lovely roller recipes that feel free to screenshot. There's the bruising blend, and again, they're similar to everything I've talked about. But this one on the left, it's got cypress in as well and blue tansy. So they are. Am I reading that right? My eyesight's terrible. I think it's blue tansy, isn't it? Anyway, tells you the drop amounts, and you just pop it in a roller bottle. And if you've got really severe bruising, I always say if you haven't got all of those oils, but you've got a selection of them, pop them in a roller. They're always going to help you. You don't have to worry that you're missing one, for example, but do have them made up. Because I think when you are in a situation, and it's kind of like a bit of a panic station, I suppose, having these blends made really are very, very helpful. And then healthy bones, again, is just to refer to my husband's injury. Obviously, he had his arm in a cast. We couldn't put oils on it. Whereas my son's wasn't. It was a finger, and we literally could put oils directly on the impact zone, whereas my husband's was hidden behind a cast. And actually, what we did was just put the oils into the kind of elbow crease, onto the palm, onto the back of the hand, and obviously up and down his spine and on his feet. And the oil still works so powerfully in the body like that. So again, take screenshots. These are some really fantastic rollerball recipes for you. And we can move on to the next slide. Oh, there we go. It's over to you, Alison. Yeah, I'll stay around for Q&As at the end. If anyone's got in-depth questions about severe injuries with children, then you can ask me anything.
Brilliant. Yes, we're just going to briefly talk about, for anyone who's not already familiar with the loyalty program, just how to get these oils. Some of those are in the starter kit, and there's a couple of them outside of that. There's some amazing things in there that I will pick up on later. But just, yeah, taking the bone nutrient complex, I'd never thought of that. I've always associated it with a sort of hormone thing, but that, so many amazing tips that you've shared, but we'll bounce back to that when we have the questions. But yes, for those of you, just very briefly, but those of you who aren't familiar, if you're here, then presumably you have a doTERRA account already, so you get your 25% discount. But we just want to make sure that you're aware of, I think it might be the world's most generous loyalty program. I was thinking about this today and I was like, is there actually a loyalty program that's more generous than doTERRA's in the world? Well, I mean, I don't know every loyalty program, but I reckon it probably is. It certainly is in the UK. So when you log into your account, you can just order. Normally, everything will just get shipped to you. But if you are going to be using this part of every day, so part of your healthcare management for whether you've got Mr. Bumps in your house or just for that daily immunity and all the supplements and all the things that we could be using them, even if you're just ordering the toothpaste and deodorant, it's so worth just getting into regular use of these amazing products. And if you do order at least one thing a month, you can be part of the loyalty program. And you can see here the benefits. So firstly, you get your shipping reimbursed on every order. You earn points back for your purchases, and then you can use those points to get freebies, which is amazing. You get sent a free oil every month if you order a certain amount. If you're an advocate, then by ordering, you also earn commissions. And obviously, the main benefit is using these products regularly is going to give you better health, which is better for everybody. So it is an amazing program. And just to compare it to some of the UK ones, the way it works is you earn points back for your orders. So for example, Nectar points, which is what Sainsbury's and I don't know what other shop it is, but you get 0.5% back on what you spend. Boots used to be the best one I could find. It was 4 points, but they've moved that down to for every point or every pound you spend, you get 3 points back. With Holland and Barrett, it is actually 4. So that's the best one I can find in the UK. With doTERRA, you start getting 10% back. So instead of 3% or 4% of the best one I can find, you start getting 10% back on all your orders. And then that grows every 3 months by 5%. So it jumps from 10% up to 15 and then to 20 and then to 25 and then to 30. That's the maximum. So if you've been using the program for a year, you're getting 30% back on everything you're buying. So I really don't know a company that's more generous than that. And I certainly use my points to buy oils like the Helichrysum, which can be a little bit more expensive, but then I get them for free and I feel like I'm beating the system. So it's an amazing program to be a part of. So if you haven't discovered it yet, speak to the person who introduced you. You're welcome to scan this QR code to a brief video that just runs through exactly how it works and how the points work and all that sort of thing. So feel free to have a look at that. And I will stop the recording now, if again I can find the right button. Um, and then we will jump into our questions. So thank you for those who came to have watching the replay. And just a reminder before I stop the recording that Wellness Wednesdays are the second and fourth Wednesday of every month, open to anyone with a doTERRA account. It's run by UK and Ireland leaders, but it's literally open to anyone in the world. If you got a doTERRA account, just come and learn how to use your oils, and we look forward to seeing you at the next one.